Till now we have studied about the structure of nerve fiber. Now let's start with the nerve impulse. That is nerve impulse formation, initiation, conduction and transmission. But before understanding this, let us understand about few terms like polarized nerve fiber and depolarized nerve fiber. This figure depicts the polarization of a nerve fiber. Now as it can be seen from the figure, during resting stage of a nerve fiber, there is a higher concentration of K plus ion on the inner side and higher concentration of Na plus on the outer side of the plasma membrane. Moreover, there are few protein molecules which are negatively charged present on the inner side of the plasma membrane. Such a state of plasma membrane where there is a higher concentration of K plus on the inner side and Na plus concentration higher on the outer side. In such a resting stage of plasma membrane is known as polarized nerve fiber. Thus, the nerve fiber that is formed during resting stage of axon where K plus ion, that is potassium ion, is higher on the inner side of plasma membrane while the concentration of Na plus, that is sodium ion, is higher on the outer side of the membrane. Then such a nerve fiber is known as polarized nerve fiber. The potential developed during the polarized nerve fiber is called resting potential. As said earlier, the few protein molecules that are negatively charged is present on the inner side, but these molecules cannot move out of the plasma membrane during the polarized stage. This figure depicts the depolarized stage of the nerve fiber. Now as it can be seen from the figure, during excited stage of axon, the Na plus ion which were present outside the plasma membrane gets collected to the inner side of the plasma membrane. And the K plus ion, that is potassium ions which were present on the inner side, moves towards the outer side. Thus the influx of Na plus moves towards the inner side and K plus moves towards the outer side. which makes the nerve fiber depolarized. Such a depolarized state occurs for a very short period, for about 0.5 millisecond. This type of transportation of Na plus and K plus ion towards the inside and outside of plasma membrane takes place with the help of sodium-potassium pump. So the depolarized nerve fiber formation takes place during excitation stage, where the concentration of Na plus ion moving towards the inside and K plus ion moving outside of the plasma membrane brings the depolarization stage that lasts for about 0.5 millisecond, which is very short, and therefore repolarization of nerve fiber takes place immediately. Such a phenomenon that occurs during excitation is known as depolarization, which is also known as action potential. Thus, action potential can be described as change in the polarity of nerve fiber from resting to excited stage. Thus, this action potential helps in the initiation of the nerve impulse and its conduction. Thus, the first step of nerve impulse is initiation of the nerve impulse. As said earlier, which is also known as action potential. This figure depicts the action potential stage of the nerve impulse. As said earlier, for this stage, sodium-potassium pump is responsible for this stage to be carried out. Now, as it can be seen from the figure, during excited stage, due to lower concentration of Na plus towards the inside and K plus towards the outside, the influx of the two ions towards the opposite side takes place. Therefore, the Na plus ion concentration becomes gradually more towards the inner side of the plasma membrane, and that of K plus becomes more towards the outside of the plasma membrane. Here, as it can be seen, the Na plus from outside gets inserted towards the inner side, and the K plus ion present in the inside membrane moves towards the outer side. Thus, this results into depolarization stage. As said earlier, This depolarization state or action potential state cannot last for much time. It lasts for only about zero point 0.5 milliseconds. Therefore, such a state becomes immediately repolarized. Thus, by the end of this phase, a difference in the concentration of two ions between inside and outside of the plasma membrane differs. Such a difference of the plasma membrane removes the balance, and thereby this imbalance of this stage is removed by sodium potassium pump. So, the steps for the initiation of the impulse moves in the following steps. First, the concentration of Na plus ion is low inside of the plasma membrane and that of K plus ion is less outside the membrane. Therefore, sudden change in the influx of the ion takes place. Due to which Na plus ion gradually moves towards the inner side and that of K plus ion moves towards the outside. Such a stage is known as action potential and is depolarized. Which lasts for very short period of zero point 0.5 millisecond. And so this excited region became immediately repolarized with the help of sodium potassium pump. Following initiation, then comes the conduction of nerve impulse.